Welcome to the Allison O's podcast. Today we're diving deep into US civics.
Oh, US Civics.
It's foundational, really, to understanding the United States.
Yeah.
So whether you're prepping for some challenging exam or you're just curious about how this whole American democracy thing works, or maybe you just want a refresher,
Yeah.
this deep dive is for you.
It's fascinating because US Civics,
Yeah?
it's not just some abstract concept, confined to textbooks.
Yes.
It's really about the very system that, shapes our lives.
For sure.
Influencing everything from the laws that govern us to the rights that we exercise every day.
Absolutely. And we've got a stack of resources here to help us with this.
Oh, wow.
We've got textbook excerpts, we've got study guides, we've got online lessons, FAQs,
Wow.
all aimed at uncovering the core principles of U.S. civics. Our mission is to kind of sift through all these sources and extract the most important information
Okay.
and present it to you in a way that's both insightful and engaging.
I like that.
So think of this deep dive as a journey into the heart of American democracy,
Okay.
where we'll uncover the ingenious mechanisms that make this system tick.
Cool.
We'll delve into the historical context,
Yeah.
we'll explore key concepts, and hopefully spark some aha moments along the way.
Love it.
Let's start with one of the most fundamental concepts in U.S. civics, the structure of the government.
Okay.
Our sources repeatedly highlight this idea of the three branches of government:
Oh, yeah.
executive, legislative, and judicial. It's like this carefully choreographed dance. Each branch playing a distinct role in this grand performance of American democracy.
I like that analogy.
So what's crucial to understand is that this division of power is intentional.
Right.
It's designed to prevent any single entity from becoming too dominant.
Right.
And I was reading the Founding Fathers, drawing lessons from history and their own experiences.
Yeah.
They were deeply concerned about the potential for tyranny.
It makes sense.
So they came up with this system of checks and balances,
Oh, interesting.
where each branch has the power to limit the actions of the others,
Yeah, okay.
right?
Yeah.
Ensuring that no one branch goes rogue.
Exactly like a delicate ecosystem,
Yeah.
where each branch keeps the others in check,
Yeah,
maintaining a balance of power that's essential for a healthy democracy.
like a constant push and pull.
Right.
So for example,
Okay.
the president, as the head of the executive branch,
Yeah.
can veto laws passed by Congress.
Okay.
But Congress, in turn, can override that veto with a 2/3 majority vote.
Wow, that's fascinating.
It is.
It's like a constant, negotiation of power to make sure that
Yeah.
no one branch becomes too powerful.
I think it's so smart.
Yeah.
Now, let's zoom in on the executive branch.
Okay.
It's headed by the president, who is responsible for enforcing laws passed by Congress, commanding the armed forces,
Yeah.
and representing the United States on the world stage.
A lot of responsibility.
So it sounds like the president is kind of like the CEO of the country,
I like that.
setting the overall direction and making sure things run smoothly.
Yeah, like the big boss.
Now let's turn our attention to Congress, the legislative branch.
Okay.
This is where laws are born, debated, and shaped through a complex process involving compromise negotiation and, yes, sometimes even a bit of political maneuvering.
Always.
From what I've been reading, it seems like Congress is kind of like a giant workshop
Oh,
where ideas are hammered out and transformed into the laws that govern our lives.
interesting.
So Congress is composed of two chambers, the House of Representatives and the Senate.
Okay.
The House, with its 435 members representing districts across the country,
Yeah.
is designed to be closer to the people, reflecting the diversity of viewpoints and interests across the nation.
Makes sense.
And the Senate, with its 100 members, 2 from each state, provides a broader, more deliberative perspective.
Yeah. The Senate is often considered like the upper chamber of Congress.
Playing a key role in confirming presidential appointments, ratifying treaties, and providing a check on the potentially more impulsive actions of the House.
So we've got the president enforcing laws,
Yeah.
Congress making laws. But what about interpreting those laws and ensuring they align with the supreme law of the land?
Right.
The Constitution.
The Constitution.
That's where the judicial branch comes in, right?
Oh, you got it.
The judicial branch, with the Supreme Court at its apex,
Yeah.
is responsible for interpreting laws and determining their constitutionality. It acts as a guardian of the Constitution, ensuring that the actions of the other branches don't overstep their bounds.
Right.
So it sounds like the Supreme Court is kind of like the ultimate referee
Like,
Making sure everyone plays by the rules.
yeah, the referees making sure everyone's playing fair.
And the Supreme Court's decisions have a profound impact on American society,
Yeah,
shaping the interpretation of laws and influencing the course of history.
sure. Speaking of the Constitution, it's like everywhere in our sources.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the foundational document of the United States outlining the framework for the government and guaranteeing fundamental rights to citizens.
The ultimate rule book.
Yeah, it really is.
You know, the Constitution ratified in 1788?
Yeah.
It's a testament to the ingenuity and foresight of the Founding Fathers.
It's a living document.
Yeah.
Subject to interpretation and amendment, but its core principles,
Right.
separation of powers, checks and balances,
Mm-hmm.
and the protection of individual liberties remain as relevant today as they were over 2 centuries ago.
It's pretty incredible.
It's amazing to think that a document crafted so long ago continues to guide the course of the nation today.
Yeah.
And speaking of protecting individual liberties, let's delve into the Bill of Rights,
Okay.
the first 10 amendments to the Constitution.
Yeah.
These amendments seem to be all about safeguarding those core freedoms that we hold dear.
The Bill of Rights is like a cornerstone of American democracy. You know, enshrining those fundamental rights that are considered essential for a free and just society.
Like freedom of speech,
Yes.
freedom of religion,
Mm-hmm.
the right to bear arms,
Yeah.
protection from unreasonable searches and seizures.
Right.
These rights are not just abstract concepts,
No.
but real-world safeguards that protect individuals from government overreach and ensure their ability to live freely and participate fully in society.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a shield against tyranny, you know?
Right.
Ensuring that the government respects the basic rights of its citizens.
So we've got the structure of the government, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights,
Mm-hmm.
all crucial elements of US civics.
Yeah,
But what about the role of citizens in this whole system?
that's a great question.
What are our responsibilities? And how do we actively participate in shaping the direction of our nation?
You know, US Civics, it's not just about understanding the structure and function of the government.
Right.
It's also about recognizing the rights and responsibilities that come with being a citizen in a democracy.
It sounds like it's a two-way street.
It is.
The government has a responsibility to protect our rights.
Right.
But we as citizens also have a responsibility to engage in the civic process and contribute to the well-being of our community.
Exactly.
And one of the most fundamental ways we participate in a democracy is through voting.
Yes.
Voting is not just a right, but a civic duty,
Mm.
a way for citizens to have their voices heard and shape the direction of their communities and the nation as a whole.
I think that's so important.
It's amazing to think that in a country as large and diverse as the United States, we each have the power to influence the course of events through our vote.
It's the beauty of democracy.
Yeah.
It really empowers individuals to participate in shaping their own destinies.
Now, before we dive deeper into this fascinating world of citizen participation,
Okay.
let's take a moment to remind our listeners to like, subscribe, and share this episode with your friends.
Yes.
You can also find us on Spotify and YouTube.
We love sharing knowledge and making these complex topics accessible and fun.
We'll be right back with more on US Civics.
Sounds good.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Back again.
We're in the midst of exploring the intricate workings of US civics, and we've already covered a lot of ground, from the 3 branches of government to the Bill of Rights.
Yeah.
But now let's shift our focus to a concept that's essential for ensuring equality and justice for all: civil rights.
Civil rights are fundamental to the fabric of American society.
Yeah.
You know, they protect individuals from discrimination based on characteristics like race, gender, religion, or national origin, ensuring that everyone has equal opportunities and is treated fairly under the law.
And our sources highlight the long and often challenging struggle for civil rights in the United States,
It's been a long road.
with countless individuals and movements fighting tirelessly to secure equal rights and opportunities for all Americans.
The civil rights movement of the 1950s and 60s
Yeah.
stands as a testament to the power of collective action and the unwavering pursuit of justice.
For sure, through peaceful protests, boycotts, and legal challenges.
Yeah.
Activists and everyday citizens forced the nation to confront its deep-seated prejudices and enact laws that would dismantle segregation and discrimination.
Absolutely. It was a turning point in American history.
From the landmark Brown v. Board of Education decision that declared state-sponsored segregation in public schools unconstitutional,
Right.
to the Civil Rights Act of 1964 that outlawed discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin.
Yeah.
The civil rights movement achieved significant victories that transformed American society.
But these achievements didn't come easily.
No, they didn't.
They were the result of years of struggle, sacrifice, and unwavering determination on the part of countless individuals who dared to challenge the status quo and demand a more just and equitable society.
And the fight for civil rights continues today,
It does.
with ongoing efforts to address issues like voting rights, criminal justice reform, and LGBTQ plus equality.
It's an ongoing process.
It's a reminder that the pursuit of justice is an ongoing process, requiring constant vigilance and a commitment to upholding the rights of all individuals.
Now let's shift gears a bit and explore another fascinating aspect of U.S. civics,
Okay.
the process of becoming a U.S. citizen.
Our sources delve into the various pathways to citizenship,
Mm-hmm.
highlighting the requirements and steps involved in becoming a naturalized citizen of the United States.
It's a journey that many individuals from all over the world undertake, seeking to become part of the American fabric.
And the process typically involves several key steps,
Yeah.
including residing in the U.S. as a permanent resident for a specific period, demonstrating good moral character, passing a civics test, and taking an oath of allegiance to the United States.
It's a testament to the enduring appeal of American ideals and the opportunities that this nation offers.
It's inspiring to think that people from all walks of life with diverse backgrounds and experiences choose to make the United States their home
Yeah.
and embrace the responsibilities and privileges that come with American citizenship.
Speaking of responsibilities, we've talked a lot about the rights and freedoms that citizens enjoy.
Yeah.
But it's equally important to recognize the duties that come with being a member of this society.
Our sources emphasize that being a responsible citizen means more than just enjoying our rights.
Right.
It's about actively engaging in the civic process, contributing to our communities, and upholding the values that make this nation strong.
It's about recognizing that we have a shared responsibility for the well-being of our communities and the future of our nation. This includes things like obeying laws, paying taxes, serving on juries when called upon,
Yeah.
and yes, even defending the country if needed.
It sounds like citizenship is a two-way street.
It is.
We have rights that protect us, but we also have responsibilities that call upon us to contribute to the greater good.
You got it. It's about finding that balance between individual liberties and the collective good.
Yeah.
Recognizing that a healthy democracy requires the active participation and commitment of its citizens.
Now, while we've been focusing primarily on the federal government,
Right.
it's important to remember that state and local governments also play a significant role in our daily lives.
Absolutely. What's fascinating about the U.S. system is that it's a federal system,
Yeah.
meaning that power is shared between the national government and the individual states.
Okay.
This division of power is enshrined in the Constitution, creating a balance that's designed to prevent any one level of government from becoming too dominant.
So it's like a multi-layered cake with the federal government at the top,
I like that.
setting the overall framework, and then the states having considerable autonomy to govern their own affairs.
And within each state, you have even more layers of government,
Right, sure.
including counties, cities, and towns, each with its own elected officials and responsibilities.
From our sources, it seems like state and local governments are responsible for a wide range of services that directly impact our daily lives,
They are.
like education, transportation, public safety, and healthcare.
They make decisions about things like school funding, road construction, police and fire departments,
Right.
and even zoning regulations that determine how land can be used.
It's amazing to think about how many different levels of government are working simultaneously,
It is.
each with its own unique responsibilities and challenges.
And it's important to remember that citizens have a voice at every level of government.
Right.
We can vote for our local officials, attend town hall meetings, and get involved in local issues that matter to us.
It's a reminder that civic engagement doesn't just happen at the national level.
Right.
We can make a difference in our own backyards by participating in local government and advocating for policies that benefit our communities.
Absolutely. Now, before we continue our exploration of U.S. civics,
Okay.
let's take a moment to remind our listeners to like, subscribe, and share this episode with your friends.
Yes, please do.
You can also find Allison Knows on Spotify and YouTube.
We'd love to connect with you there.
Now back to our deep dive. We were just talking about the importance of citizen participation at all levels of government.
Right.
Let's delve a bit deeper into that.
Okay.
Our sources highlight the concept of checks and balances as a crucial element of the U.S. system.
Yeah.
And it's not just limited to the interactions between the three branches of government at the federal level.
That's right. The principle of checks and balances is also at play within state and local governments,
It is.
ensuring that no one person or branch has too much power.
For example, a city council might propose a new ordinance,
Okay.
but the mayor has the power to veto it.
Right.
Or a state legislature might pass a law, but the governor can veto it.
Yeah?
And the legislature can override that veto with a supermajority vote.
It's like a series of safeguards,
Yeah.
ensuring that power is distributed and that no one entity can act unilaterally.
Exactly. And citizens play a key role in the system of checks and balances.
How so?
By staying informed, participating in elections, and holding our elected officials accountable, we help to ensure that the government functions as intended and that our rights and interests are protected.
It sounds like civic engagement is not just a right but a responsibility, a way for us to actively participate in shaping the direction of our communities and our nation.
Precisely. It's about recognizing that we're not just passive observers in this grand experiment of democracy. We're active participants, and our voices and actions matter.
Now let's shift gears a bit and explore another fascinating facet of U.S. civics,
Okay.
the concept of federalism.
Oh, yeah.
Our sources delve into the complex relationship between the federal government and the states,
Right.
highlighting the ongoing tension between national authority and states' rights.
The balance of power between the federal government and the states has been a source of debate and contention throughout American history.
For sure.
The Constitution outlines certain powers that are specifically delegated to the federal government,
Like what?
such as the power to declare war coin money and regulate interstate commerce.
And then there are powers that are reserved to the states, such as the power to regulate education, conduct elections, and establish local governments.
Exactly. But there's also a gray area
Oh,
where the lines between federal and state authority can be blurry.
right.
This has led to numerous conflicts over the years as the federal government has sought to expand its reach into areas traditionally considered the domain of the states.
From the early debates over the national bank to the Civil War and the struggle for civil rights,
Yeah.
the balance of power between the federal government and the states has been a constant source of tension and evolution.
And this tension continues today with ongoing debates over issues like healthcare, immigration, and environmental regulation.
It's a reminder that the U.S. system is a dynamic one, constantly adapting to changing circumstances and evolving societal values.
It is.
So understanding federalism is crucial for grasping the complexities of American governance and the ongoing dialogue between national and state authority.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that the U.S. is not a monolithic entity, but a union of states, each with its own unique history, culture, and political landscape.
And it's about understanding how the interplay between the federal government and the states shapes the policies that affect our lives and the direction of the nation as a whole.
Now let's delve into another fascinating aspect of U.S. civics, the electoral process.
Okay.
Our sources highlight the intricate system of elections that underpins American democracy, from local races for city council to the presidential election that captivates the nation every 4 years.
The right to vote is considered a cornerstone of American democracy,
It is.
and our sources emphasize the importance of citizen participation in the electoral process.
From registering to vote, choosing candidates and casting ballots,
Yeah.
the electoral process empowers individuals to have a say in shaping their government and choosing the leaders who will represent their interests.
But our sources also delve into some of the complexities and challenges that face the electoral process,
Right.
such as issues of voter suppression, gerrymandering, and the influence of money in politics.
These are important issues that can impact the fairness and integrity of elections, and they highlight the need for ongoing efforts to ensure that the electoral process is accessible to all eligible voters and that the results accurately reflect the will of the people.
It sounds like understanding the electoral process is not just about knowing how to vote,
No, it's not.
but also about being aware of the potential challenges and advocating for reforms that can strengthen and protect our democracy.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that the right to vote is precious and that we have a responsibility to exercise that right and to ensure that the electoral system is fair and equitable for all.
Now, as we continue our deep dive into U.S. civics,
Yes.
let's turn our attention to the concept of civic duty.
Civic duty.
Our sources emphasize that being a responsible citizen goes beyond just voting in elections.
It does.
It's about actively engaging in our communities, staying informed about issues that affect us, and participating in the civic discourse that shapes the direction of our society.
It's about recognizing that we're not just individuals living in isolation,
Yeah.
but members of a larger society, and that our actions and choices have an impact on those around us.
And it's about understanding that a healthy democracy requires the active participation and engagement of its citizens,
Right.
not just during election season, but throughout the year.
Absolutely. Civic duty is not a one-time obligation, but an ongoing commitment to the principles that underpin our society and the well-being of our communities.
Now, let's delve into a concept that's often debated and sometimes misunderstood: the role of the media in a democracy.
The media.
Our sources highlight the importance of a free and independent press as a cornerstone of a functioning democracy.
The media plays a crucial role in informing the public,
Hmm.
holding those in power accountable and facilitating the open exchange of ideas that is essential for a healthy civic discourse.
And from newspapers and magazines to radio, television, and the internet, the media provides a platform for diverse voices and perspectives, allowing citizens to stay informed about current events, government actions, and the issues that affect their lives.
But the media landscape has undergone significant changes in recent years.
It has.
With the rise of social media, the proliferation of online news sources, and the increasing polarization of the political discourse.
And these changes have raised new challenges for the media,
They have.
including concerns about the spread of misinformation, the decline of traditional news outlets, and the increasing difficulty in discerning factual reporting from opinion and commentary.
It's important for citizens to be critical consumers of media,
Yeah.
to evaluate sources carefully, to be aware of potential biases, and to seek out diverse perspectives to gain a well-rounded understanding of the issues.
So navigating the media landscape requires a discerning eye,
It does.
a healthy dose of skepticism, and a commitment to seeking out factual information and diverse viewpoints.
Absolutely. In today's world where information flows freely and rapidly,
Yeah.
it's more important than ever to be media literate, to be able to evaluate sources and to distinguish between fact and fiction.
Now let's shift gears a bit and explore a topic that's often at the forefront of political discussions:
Okay.
the role of political parties in the U.S. system.
The political parties.
Our sources delve into the history and evolution of the two major political parties,
The Democrats and Republicans.
highlighting their differing ideologies, platforms, and approaches to governance.
The two-party system has been a dominant feature of American politics for much of its history,
Yeah.
providing a framework for organizing political thought, mobilizing voters, and shaping the policy agenda.
And the Democrats generally advocate for a more active role for government in addressing social and economic issues, while the Republicans tend to favor a more limited role for government and a greater emphasis on individual responsibility and free markets.
Of course, these are broad generalizations,
Right.
and there's considerable diversity of thought within both parties. But understanding the general philosophies and policy positions of the two major parties can help citizens navigate the political landscape and make informed choices during elections.
It sounds like political parties provide a framework for understanding the political spectrum.
They do.
But it's important to remember that they're not monolithic entities, and that individual candidates and elected officials may hold a range of views that don't always align perfectly with their party's platform.
Exactly. It's important for citizens to look beyond party labels
Yeah.
and to evaluate candidates based on their individual positions, their experience, their character, and their commitment to serving the public good.
Now, as we delve deeper into U.S. civics,
Mm-hmm.
let's explore a concept that's essential for understanding how the government functions:
Yeah.
the budget process.
Oh, the budget process.
The budget process is a complex and often contentious undertaking involving numerous players, competing priorities, and a delicate balancing act between spending and revenue.
It starts with the president proposing a budget to Congress, outlining the administration's spending priorities for the coming fiscal year.
And then Congress takes over, holding hearings, debating the merits of various programs,
Okay.
and ultimately crafting its own version of the budget,
Yeah.
which may differ significantly from the president's proposal.
And once Congress passes a budget resolution, it goes back to the president for signature.
Okay,
And
good.
then the various government agencies begin the process of implementing the budget, allocating funds to specific programs and projects.
It sounds like a complex and often contentious process,
It is.
involving negotiations, compromises, and a careful balancing act between competing priorities.
That's the nature of the beast.
It's a reminder that governing is not easy, and that making decisions about how to spend taxpayer dollars involves careful consideration of the needs of the nation, the limitations of resources, and the political realities of the day.
Now, as we continue our exploration of U.S. civics,
Okay.
let's turn our attention to a topic that's often in the news and sometimes misunderstood:
What's up?
the role of lobbyists in the political process.
Lobbyists are individuals or groups who seek to influence government decisions on behalf of specific interests or causes.
Right. They can represent a wide range of stakeholders, from corporations and trade associations to labor unions, environmental groups, and nonprofit organizations.
And lobbyists play a complex role in the political system.
They do.
They can provide valuable information to lawmakers, educate them about the potential impact of policies, and advocate for the interests of their clients.
But there are also concerns about the potential for undue influence,
Right.
particularly when lobbyists represent powerful interests that may not always align with the public good.
So it's important for citizens to understand how lobbying works, to be aware of the potential for conflicts of interest, and to hold both lobbyists and lawmakers accountable for their actions.
It is. It's about transparency and accountability.
Navigating the world of lobbying requires a critical eye,
It does.
an understanding of the power dynamics at play, and a commitment to transparency and ethical conduct.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that lobbying is a part of the political process,
Yeah.
but it's also about ensuring that it's done in a way that's fair, transparent, and serves the best interests of the public.
Now, as we continue our exploration of U.S. civics,
Okay.
let's delve into a topic that's often associated with controversy and intense debate: the issue of campaign finance.
Campaign finance, that's a hot topic.
It refers to the funding of political campaigns, including the money that candidates raise and spend to get elected.
Right?
It's a complex and often contentious issue, raising questions about the influence of money in politics, the role of special interests, and the need for transparency and accountability.
Our sources highlight the various ways that candidates raise money for their campaigns, including individual contributions, political action committees, PACs, and even their own personal wealth.
And there are laws and regulations in place that govern campaign contributions and spending,
Yeah.
designed to prevent corruption, limit the influence of wealthy donors, and promote fairness in the electoral process.
But there are also ongoing debates about the adequacy of these regulations
Of course.
and whether they go far enough in addressing concerns about the role of money in politics.
It's a complex issue with no easy answers.
It is.
But it's important for citizens to understand how campaign finance works, to be aware of the potential for undue influence, and to engage in the ongoing dialogue about how to ensure that elections are fair and that the voices of all citizens are heard regardless of their wealth or connections.
It's about leveling the playing field.
Campaign finance is a topic that requires careful consideration, a nuanced understanding of the laws and regulations, and a commitment to upholding the integrity of the electoral process.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that money plays a role in politics,
Yeah.
but it's also about ensuring that the system is fair, transparent, and that the voices of ordinary citizens are not drowned out by the influence of wealthy donors and special interests.
Now let's shift gears a bit and delve into a concept that's essential for understanding the rights and responsibilities of citizens in a democracy:
Okay.
due process of law.
Due process of law is a fundamental principle enshrined in the 5th and 14th Amendments to the Constitution,
Okay.
guaranteeing that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law.
It's a cornerstone of the American legal system,
Yes.
ensuring that individuals are treated fairly and that their rights are protected throughout the legal process.
And due process encompasses a wide range of procedural safeguards,
Okay, like what?
including the right to notice, the right to a fair hearing, the right to legal representation, and the right to appeal.
So it's about ensuring that the government follows established procedures,
Yeah.
respects individual rights,
Yeah.
and the decisions are made based on evidence and the law,
Right.
rather than arbitrary or discriminatory actions.
Due process is a vital safeguard against government overreach,
Okay.
protecting individuals from unfair treatment and ensuring that the legal system operates in a just and equitable manner.
It sounds like due process is a cornerstone of our legal system, guaranteeing that individuals are treated fairly and that their rights are protected throughout the legal process.
Exactly. It's a vital principle that upholds the rule of law and ensures that justice is served.
Now, as we continue our exploration of U.S. civics,
Mm-hmm.
let's delve into a topic that's often associated with conflict and controversy:
Okay.
the issue of war powers.
The Constitution grants Congress the power to declare war, while the President, as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, has the authority to direct military operations.
But the allocation of war powers has been a source of tension and debate throughout American history,
It has.
with questions about the president's ability to deploy troops without congressional approval and the limits of executive authority in times of war.
From the Vietnam War to the more recent conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan,
Yeah.
the issue of war powers has sparked intense discussions about the balance of power between the branches of government. The role of Congress in authorizing military action and the president's authority as commander-in-chief.
It's a complex issue with no easy answers.
The tough one.
But it's important for citizens to understand the constitutional framework for war powers,
Yeah.
to engage in the ongoing debate about the appropriate balance of power, and to hold their elected officials accountable for decisions that involve sending American troops into harm's way.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that the decision to go to war is a grave one,
Yeah.
with profound consequences for both the nation and the individuals who serve in the military.
Now let's shift gears a bit and explore a topic that's essential for understanding the role of the judiciary in the U.S. system:
Okay.
judicial review.
Judicial review is the power of the courts to review laws and government actions to determine whether they are constitutional. It's a cornerstone of the system of checks and balances, allowing the judiciary to act as a safeguard against potential abuses of power by the other branches of government.
And the landmark case of Marbury v. Madison, decided in 1803, established the principle of judicial review, giving the Supreme Court the authority to strike down laws that it deems unconstitutional.
It was a pivotal moment.
And judicial review has played a significant role in shaping American law and society,
It has.
from protecting individual rights to resolving disputes between the states and the federal government.
Absolutely.
It's a reminder that the judiciary plays a vital role in upholding the Constitution, interpreting the law, and ensuring that the government acts within its constitutional limits.
Now, as we continue our exploration of U.S. civics, let's delve into a topic that's often at the heart of political debates: the issue of taxation.
Okay.
Taxation is the process by which the government levies charges on individuals and businesses to raise revenue for public services,
Right.
such as education infrastructure and national defense.
It's a fundamental function of government, essential for providing the resources needed to operate and serve the needs of society.
The Constitution grants Congress the power to levy taxes. And over the years, the U.S. tax system has evolved into a complex web of federal, state, and local taxes,
Right.
including income taxes, property taxes, sales taxes, and excise taxes.
And there are ongoing debates about the fairness and efficiency of the tax system,
Always.
with different perspectives on how taxes should be structured, who should bear the burden, and how tax revenue should be spent.
It's a complex issue with no easy answers,
It is.
but it's important for citizens to understand how taxes work,
Yeah.
to engage in the ongoing dialogue about tax policy, and to hold their elected officials accountable for making decisions that are fair, responsible, and serve the best interests of the nation.
Taxation is a fundamental aspect of governance, but it's also a topic that requires careful consideration, thoughtful debate, and a commitment to finding solutions that balance the need for revenue with the principles of fairness and economic sustainability.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that taxes are the price we pay for a civilized society,
Yeah.
but it's also about ensuring that the system is just, efficient, and serves the needs of all citizens.
Now let's shift gears a bit and delve into a topic that's closely related to taxation:
Okay.
the issue of government spending.
Government spending refers to the allocation of tax revenue to fund various government programs and services, such as education, healthcare infrastructure, national defense, and social welfare programs.
From our sources, it seems like the level of government spending is a perennial subject of debate,
It is.
with different perspectives on the appropriate role of government in the economy, the effectiveness of various programs, and the need to balance spending with revenue and avoid excessive debt.
It's a complex issue with no easy answers, involving difficult choices about how to allocate limited resources to meet the needs of society while ensuring fiscal responsibility.
So government spending is a topic that requires careful consideration, thoughtful debate, and a commitment to finding solutions that balance the needs of the nation with the principles of fiscal responsibility and economic sustainability.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that government spending can be a powerful tool for promoting the public good. But it's also about ensuring that it's done wisely, efficiently, and in a way that benefits all citizens.
Now let's shift gears a bit and explore a concept that's essential for understanding the relationship between citizens and the government: the concept of civic virtue.
Civic virtue.
Civic virtue refers to the qualities of character and conduct that are essential for the well-being of a democratic society.
Right.
It encompasses a range of values including honesty, integrity, respect for the law, a sense of responsibility for the common good, and a willingness to participate in civic life.
Civic virtue is seen as the foundation of a healthy democracy,
Okay.
fostering trust, cooperation, and a shared sense of purpose among citizens.
And individuals who demonstrate civic virtue are more likely to engage in constructive dialogue, respect diverse viewpoints, and work together to address common challenges.
They are.
So civic virtue is not just about individual character,
No, it's not.
but also about the collective values that bind a society together, fostering a sense of shared responsibility for the well-being of the community and the nation as a whole.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we're all in this together,
Yeah.
and that the success of our democracy depends on the active participation and commitment of its citizens.
Now let's delve into a concept that's often discussed in the context of civil rights and social justice,
Okay.
the principle of equality under the law.
Equality under the law is a fundamental principle enshrined in the 14th Amendment to the Constitution, guaranteeing that all persons are entitled to equal protection of the laws, regardless of their race, religion, gender, national origin, or any other protected characteristic.
And it's a cornerstone of the American legal system, ensuring that everyone is treated fairly and that their rights are protected equally regardless of their background or circumstances.
Equality under the law means that individuals should not be discriminated against or treated differently based on arbitrary or irrelevant factors.
So equality under the law is a fundamental principle that ensures fairness, justice, and equal opportunities for all.
Exactly. It's about recognizing the inherent worth and dignity of every individual and ensuring that the law protects their rights and treats them with respect.
Now let's shift gears a bit and explore a concept that's essential for understanding the role of the courts in a democracy:
Okay.
the principle of judicial independence.
Judicial independence refers to the ability of judges to make impartial decisions free from undue influence by the other branches of government, political pressures, or personal biases.
And it's a cornerstone of the rule of law,
It is.
ensuring that the judiciary can act as a neutral arbiter of disputes, uphold the Constitution, and protect individual rights without fear of reprisal or interference.
Judicial independence is safeguarded by various mechanisms such as lifetime appointments for federal judges,
Right.
protections against salary reductions, and the separation of powers doctrine that limits the ability of the other branches to interfere with the judiciary.
It sounds like judicial independence is a vital safeguard for ensuring that the courts can function fairly and impartially, upholding the rule of law and protecting the rights of all citizens.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that a fair and impartial judiciary is essential for a just and equitable society.
Now let's delve into a concept that's often discussed in the context of political participation:
Okay.
the issue of voter turnout.
Voter turnout refers to the percentage of eligible voters who actually cast ballots in an election.
Okay.
It's a measure of citizen engagement in the democratic process, reflecting the level of interest, motivation, and access to voting that exists within a society.
And voter turnout rates can vary significantly from election to election and from country to country,
Yeah, they do.
influenced by factors such as the perceived importance of the election, the ease of voting, the competitiveness of the races, and the level of trust in the electoral system.
Voter turnout in the United States has historically been lower than in many other developed democracies,
Yeah, that's true.
raising concerns about the health of the democratic process and the representativeness of elected officials.
And there are ongoing efforts to increase voter turnout, including initiatives to make voting easier and more accessible, to educate citizens about the importance of voting, and to address barriers to participation, such as voter ID laws, limited polling places, and long wait times.
Those are all important factors.
So voter turnout is a key indicator of the health of a democracy, and that efforts to increase participation are essential for ensuring that the electoral process is representative of the will of the people.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that a vibrant democracy requires the active engagement of its citizens,
Yeah.
and that making it easier for people to vote is a crucial step in strengthening our democratic institutions.
Now let's shift gears a bit and explore a concept that's often associated with conflict and controversy:
Okay.
the issue of civil disobedience.
Civil disobedience is the act of intentionally breaking a law that is considered unjust or immoral,
Okay.
as a form of protest and a way to bring attention to the issue and to challenge the legitimacy of the law.
And civil disobedience has a long and storied history,
It does.
with examples ranging from the Boston Tea Party to the Civil Rights Movement and the anti-war protests of the 1960s.
It's been used to challenge a wide range of laws and policies, from segregation and discrimination to war and environmental destruction.
Civil disobedience can be a powerful tool for social change,
It can.
but it's also a controversial one, raising questions about the rule of law, the legitimacy of protest, and the potential for violence or disorder.
It's important for citizens to understand the history and principles of civil disobedience,
Yeah.
to weigh the potential costs and benefits, and to engage in thoughtful dialogue about the role of protest and dissent in a democratic society.
Civil disobedience is a complex and nuanced issue,
It is.
requiring careful consideration of the ethical implications, the potential consequences, and the importance of upholding the rule of law, while also advocating for justice and social change.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that there are times when individuals may feel compelled to break the law in order to challenge injustice.
Yeah.
But it's also about doing so in a way that's responsible, nonviolent, and ultimately aimed at strengthening the fabric of society.
Now, as we continue our deep dive into US civics,
Okay.
let's explore a concept that's essential for understanding the relationship between the government and the people, the concept of transparency.
Transparency in government refers to the principle that the public has a right to know what the government is doing, how it's making decisions, and how it's spending taxpayer dollars.
It's about ensuring that the government operates in an open and accountable manner, allowing citizens to scrutinize its actions and hold it responsible for its decisions.
And transparency is seen as a cornerstone of a healthy democracy,
Yeah.
fostering trust, accountability, and informed citizen participation.
So transparency can take many forms,
Yeah.
including open meetings,
Yeah.
public records, laws, freedom of information requests, and even the use of technology to make government data more accessible to the public.
It's about making information available and understandable to ordinary citizens,
Right.
empowering them to engage in informed dialogue and hold their government accountable.
It sounds... Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
We're back.
It's been an incredible journey, really,
It has.
exploring the foundations of this complex system, from the Constitution and the Bill of Rights to the roles of citizens and the media.
So much to cover.
As we approach the end of this deep dive, I'm curious, what stands out to you from all this information? What are the key takeaways that our listeners should carry with them?
You know, sifting through all these resources,
Yeah.
it's clear that the U.S. system of government is designed to be accessible to everyone,
Right.
not just legal scholars or politicians. The information is out there.
But it is.
There are tons of resources to help people understand their rights and how to participate in the democratic process.
Yeah, it's not some secret society, right?
Right.
There are online lessons, study guides, community organizations, countless ways to engage with civics and make your voice heard.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Reach out to a teacher, a librarian, even your elected officials. They're there to serve the public.
And the more informed you are, the more empowered you are to participate in shaping the future of your community and your country.
I think that's one of the most inspiring aspects of U.S. civics.
Yeah.
The emphasis on active citizenship.
Yeah.
The system is designed to be by the people, for the people, but that means it requires constant vigilance and active participation to ensure it remains healthy and vibrant.
Speaking of vigilance, we've seen throughout this deep dive that the U.S. system of government is complex, constantly evolving and facing new challenges.
It is?
What issues or challenges do you think are most pressing in American democracy today?
That's a great question.
And what role can citizens play in addressing them?
You know, we live in a time of rapid change and increasing polarization.
We do.
Social media, the 24-hour news cycle, political divisions.
Yeah.
It can feel like we're constantly bombarded with information and opinions, making it hard to know what to believe or where to even begin to make a difference.
It's overwhelming, to say the least.
It is.
But as we've learned, even small acts of citizenship can have a ripple effect.
Exactly. Voting in local elections, attending town hall meetings, volunteering in your community, fact-checking information before you share it.
Right.
These are all tangible ways to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps most importantly, having respectful conversations with people who hold different views.
Yes.
Trying to understand where they're coming from and finding common ground.
Building bridges, fostering dialogue, and remembering that we're all in this together is truly the foundation of a healthy democracy.
It's easy to get caught up in the negativity and feel like our individual actions don't matter.
Yeah.
But I think this deep dive has highlighted just how crucial each citizen's participation is.
It's a reminder that civics isn't just about the big picture stuff.
Yeah.
It's about the everyday interactions and choices we make as individuals. How we treat each other, how we engage with our communities, and how we participate in the ongoing story of American democracy. That's what truly matters.
Well said. U.S. civics isn't just a subject to study.
No.
It's a living, breathing entity that we all contribute to. And the more we understand it, the more empowered we are to shape its future.
Before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to remind our listeners to like, subscribe, and share this episode with your friends.
Yes, please do.
You can also find us on Spotify and YouTube.
We'd love to connect with you there.
We've covered a lot of ground, but as we've seen, there's always more to learn and explore when it comes to U.S. civics.
Absolutely. It's an ongoing journey of discovery.
It is.
And we encourage you to continue exploring this vital topic.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for listening to the Allison Knows podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode with your friends.
You can also find Allison Knows on Spotify and YouTube.
And follow Allison on Blue Sky, YouTube, and TikTok. We'd love to connect with you there.